And welcome to the Walking Dead Support Group, Episode 8, Season 4. Absolutely beyond stressful. Everything's recording. We're live. This is fantastic. Tonight, absolutely, what a great way to end this season. But the way we always do it, I'm Alex Mann. I got Jason McCarthy, Keith O'Brien. Keith, give us the grand total count, as however you want to call it.
I am amazed. That was amazing. We got 13 kills, zombie kills, on camera. And, wow.
Right.
I mean, it was just wow.
So normally we'll jump into some shout-outs, but just because we've got at least one person so far ready to go on our video conference call. Kari, are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right, I'm going to turn you around so our viewers can see you. This is Kari. Kari's out in Minnesota. She's one of our very active followers over on...
there it is.
There she is. Perfect. All right, so Kari, as our host, what we always like to do is we have 3 questions that we always ask each other, very similar to Rick, but we started it before him. What was your favorite line of the night?
Where's Carl?
I know, we have, oh, you know what? We didn't even pick up on that.
I didn't pick on that. Good for her. I didn't pick up on that either.
That's awesome. Where's Carl?
Where's Carl?
What do you have for the kill of the night? And I think we're all going to probably be on the same page, but...
Oh, there were so many where you just didn't know what was going to happen. But first, I mean, you got to go with Michonne and that backstab through the governor. You know, she didn't really kill him, but for me, that was like, yes, you saw that sword and you're good to go.
I have to admit, I jumped up.
Yeah, it was a Super Bowl party over here. It's what it
Yeah.
sounded like.
Yeah, Super Bowl.
Yeah, we had a Super Bowl, yeah.
I jumped up. I did the Hogan from the Boston Red Sox police in the corner.
We were Hoganing.
We're Hoganing if you're a Red Sox fan. But yeah, I totally lost it, and I made a proposal of marriage to Michonne. So I don't know what that says about me if I'm going to propose to a woman who's ready to kill. But what was your best moment of this whole episode?
You know, I'm fascinated by water, and really, honestly, truly, I kind of strangely enjoyed little Megan's death.
Just playing in the mud.
Yeah.
Playing in the mud.
I used to go in the water, and we finally know we saw one, but we don't know if they swim or not. But I knew when I saw those earthworms, I said corpse for sure.
Absolutely. All right, so quickly, tell us about yourself. On your Twitter profile, you're an instructor on film critics or film
Studies.
Yes, tell us really quick about yourself and give us your Twitter handle.
My Twitter handle is Kari Minnesota. I call myself a purebred Minnesotan because all of my great grandparents came here to farm from Scandinavia and Germany.
All right, that explains why you speak Latvian.
I'm a big Minnesota person, and got the lake home, all of that stuff. And I used to teach at a private college up here, but I've gone back to teaching high school because I really missed it. And I'm working with really difficult teens, and I am going to make it their entire week because I got followed tonight by Melissa McBride, and
That's
they're
awesome.
all big Walking Dead fans. I think their teacher's pretty cool that she watches The Walking Dead, so I know this is going to be cool. I'm going to show them this podcast too.
Excellent, very good. Now, why is it that you like our accent, particularly Keith's? What is his accent that makes him better than the rest of us?
Oh my God! Well, do you remember the Saturday Night Live episode with the Bears in Chicago?
Okay.
Okay, you guys are like the Saturday Night Live, the same thing, only it's Boston.
I can live with that.
And, you guys sound like Norm from Cheers, really.
Yep, that's true. We'll give you that.
So, it was the first time I tuned in because you gave me a shout out at the end of one of your broadcasts, I don't know, a long time ago, and I tuned in. I went, oh wow, cool accents. I can listen to this.
All right, well, Kari, thank you so much for joining with us. Thank you for being such an active follower on Twitter. And we'll be chatting again during the week because we've got nothing to do until February.
I don't know what I'm going to do. I really don't.
Well,
I'm going to go back now and watch the episode again.
Very good. Hey, thanks a lot. Have a great night.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. All right, so again, somehow we've expanded into all of this. I'm going to start bringing in our second guest video call. Jason and Keith got some shout-outs for us while I get this one ready. So, Jason, why don't you take it away?
All right. We have some new Twitter followers this week. Todd Ashamel, Mrs. Big Bald Head, Jamie, College Girlfriend, Mira P, Mad Mama Falori, Undead Randy, Joanne Kavanaugh. We also had 2 new Facebook followers. Had about 10 minutes left in the show. Alicia Dobo and Marisol Moreno.
Keith, what do you got for us?
I got, these are the lists, and if I forget anybody, I hope I don't. But we had the Facebook followers from the week. We had a Tommy Overton, Jamie Lahippy, I don't know, Mary Beth Nahalt, Miranda Nicholson, Gina Marie Brees, Stephanie Raznick, and if I'm butchering any of these, and if you watch it later, you can send me a message and I'll delete it. Heather McKim, Gary Wright, and a Greg Cruz, and many of these were recruited by Sarah Crow. So we'll give a shout out to Sarah Crow because she joined, I think, the prior week or a couple weeks ago.
Sarah's been quite the recruiter
/ adder. So she's added a lot of these people. So welcome to the Welcome Dove support group on the Facebook page. If you're also following on Twitter on a different handle, we obviously got you there, and they're just in time for the hiatus, so they can keep sending us messages, and we'll solve the problems.
All right, now I'll do a shout out in a minute, but now we're going to bring in April Jakes, one of our followers from the early days. April, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
All right, so we're going to turn you around so you can see the cameras at home. We'll bring in a nice tight shot on you since I know you do a lot of community work on TV. I've seen your recent singing performance by you. So we have 3 questions that we always ask. What was your favorite line of the night?
I think mine was the very beginning when Herschel asked the governor about how would you feel about, killing your daughter or whatever, and he said, because they aren't mine.
Okay.
That was a big thing for me. Like, I couldn't believe he said that.
What do you think the kill of the night was?
Obviously, when Michonne killed the governor.
Well, yeah, okay. Well, we still have to ask because it's part of the show. And what was the best moment for you?
I don't know. I was mixed. I couldn't believe it. I'm still in shock, I guess. I don't know. I guess the biggest thing for me, the biggest shock for me, I guess, or craziness of the week was, or the day, or the movie, whatever the show, was the baby being gone.
Oh, that was and you know what? We're all wondering that ourselves. Do you think the baby's actually gone, or do you think that they were able to get the baby out of there and this was just part of the writers screwing with us getting ready for February?
I don't know. There was blood in I don't know. I'm so scared. I don't know.
All right. And you know what? Just as a disclaimer, I work with your hubby. So since he's probably sitting in the other room, you can tell Justin I said hi. But let me ask you this one extra question. Are you a Daryl fan or a Rick fan?
Oh.
So
Daryl, look away!
Wow, and you're a Rick, by the way, Justin, just so you know. You may hunt, too. You might be redneck, but you're a Rick by day and profession. All right, April, thank you for joining us here tonight on the Walking Dead Support Group. Thank you for all your posts up on our Facebook page. You have a great night, and we'll see you soon.
All right, thank you, guys.
Bye, everybody. All right, so yeah, that's us just taking it to yet another level with this show. So for me, I got a couple of quick shout-outs. Kel has been fantastic with us lately. She's absolutely killing it. She's out in Houston. She wanted to actually fly out here if we had a jet. I don't know how. I think people are overestimating our ability. Zombie Reporter, as always, you're fantastic for us. Beth, Carol, Sandra, you guys are always there with us. And I know there's one more. I don't want to forget her. Ann Kay is fantastic. She's always sending us cool stuff. The Walking Dead News is always out there helping out and sending out great information. And I know I'll find it, so why don't we just start moving on? Keith, for you tonight, what was your line of the night?
My line of the night was, Rick, you have a tank, you don't need the hostages. Because I did put on Facebook as Rick was walking to the fence, shoot the hostage, which apparently probably would have worked in my my strategy because he killed Herschel anyways. I mean, we all kind of felt it in the background, but as he was walking to the fence, I was mindful. I said, Rick, just walk up and shoot the hostage. That's how you start the negotiations. And he said, you have a tank, you don't need the hostages. But that's Rick for you.
Jay, what about you?
I think it's funny that she said that because my line of the night was the governor's response.
Which was?
Yeah, I have a tank, and I'm letting you walk away.
And I'm letting you walk away. Which was very good. That was another good one.
Because we all knew that was never going to happen.
No.
Absolutely. For me, the line of the night was at the very end where Carl is starting to look back over his shoulder, and Rick says, don't look back. Just keep walking. Kind of an interesting twist on the word walking, because walking always meant something else. Walkers always had a different issue there. So Allie on Twitter, so she's another one. And Gail Frank, that's what I was trying to get to. Gail Frank is another big supporter of ours, and we absolutely love having you. Vinny D, he got an eye patch, and he really just wants that picture up. So if our cameraman Chris, if you could just zoom in on this, and just so Vinny doesn't send me this picture anymore, because this is his new profile pic. It's Vinny's attempt to be a pirate / governor. There you go. That's great. So everybody, Vinny, who's subbed in every now and then when one of us can't be here. Thanks, Vinny.
He knows Halloween was last week.
I got to say, though.
No, he wears this all the time.
Wears it all the time.
In fact, he actually wears two, and he just kind of bumps into a lot of stuff in the house.
You got to let Vinny know that's the wrong eye.
That's all right.
Oh, no, isn't it because it's a selfie?
It's a selfie.
I think it's a selfie.
Jake, what do you got?
I had Mitch and I had the governor. The governor, I just knew everyone was going to say it, but I just liked the way Mitch turned around after he survived the tank explosion, and there's Darryl.
Yeah.
Ready to just plug him with a
Well,
quarter.
how bizarre is it, though, that he thinks he's going to have mercy?
Yeah.
Like, don't, please.
Yeah, I'm going to drive a tank through everything you used to survive, and you just let me go.
This is a Boston thing, but remember at the end of The Departed when he just went, okay, fine. He knew he was dead.
Yeah, okay.
Accept your fate, man. Right. You showed up with a tank.
Yeah.
You lost. How do you lose with a tank, by the way? Worst game plan ever.
I guess he didn't have a shell in when he threw the grenade down the.
I know.
Down the barrel.
The shell real quick.
He ejected the shell, yells grenade, and he jumps out of the tank. Like, hey, everybody inside, you're screwed.
Right. That was absolutely awesome. And that was the other thing we wanted to know was like, when do they run out of shells? They should have run out of gas. I mean, how good is the diesel in that thing, really? It's been over a year since they probably moved it.
That's true.
But whatever. We're going to jump with it.
It's not like they haven't siphoned gas before, but where are you going to...
How many? That was a ton of fun.
He was blasting shells. But
yeah, but diesel kind of coagulates, right?
Diesel does, yeah.
Keith, what would kill the night for you?
Kill the night, unfortunately, I'm going to have to go with my good friend, liberal girl, Lizzie.
Yeah, that was good. Liberal Lizzie.
Liberal Lizzie, who I've been picking on through this whole show because she was like sympathetic. She changes the tune of her friends, and they get, I guess I gotta be careful on this because they didn't really get any training on handguns, but they found a couple and they saved Tyrese. And in the end, and I'm sure we're gonna get to this, the kids had the baby, and now they didn't have the baby at that scene. So I'm sure we're gonna get to it because that's a little disturbing to me, but. I mean, a little bit of me worries that those kids just got guns, but we'll go
from the control room for the station rep, BJ, who's one of our. He's been a follower. I think we converted him to the show, mostly due to our enthusiasm of watching. He wants to know if Judith is a walker or a crawler. That's the line of the night.
That's the line of the night, right there, right out of the control booth.
I'm really working hard to make my Boston accent hotter, I think.
I wonder why you're trying.
I want to.
I didn't think mine's that good.
Best moment for me, and I know nobody actually looked over at my paper because we were so enthralled by this episode, was that moment where the governor shows up with the tank, And to me, it was, and you know, I'm going to show my age here a little bit, but that scene out of Say Anything where John Cusack standing on the car with the radio, you know, he was like calling out Rick. You know, I just wanted to hear in your eye, not in your eyes, but because we can just make jokes about his one eye forever.
Not anymore.
Jay, what was your best moment of the night?
My best moment of the night was when Rick jumped the governor. You know, it was the culmination of a couple seasons worth of rivalry and battle between the two. And you knew that it was, as soon as Rick tackled him, you knew it was going to end tonight, the battle.
Yeah.
One way or another.
Well, we were hoping. Because I wouldn't have been surprised if the writers decided to screw with us. And,
yeah, true.
You know what I mean? Keith?
What?
What was your take on this whole episode? I mean, we're happy. We know we're happy.
We are happy.
Right?
We're happy because they're leaving the prison.
Right. They are leaving the prison. So
I'm a little unhappy about the whole melee. It just seemed, I guess it seemed inevitable. I mean, I know both of you guys saw Herschel possibly dying. I guess I didn't really see it happening. But, you know, he's dead. I guess the moment at first I wrote down that Herschel was talking to the governor, and then the moment that, you know, Herschel was smiling because Rick was trying to be, compassionate to the governor, and the governor was listening. And then, you know, I think Herschel was happy that what Rick was trying to do, and then, of course, he had to, he perished.
All right, I need to squeeze this in. This has been repeated a couple times, but I'll give credit to Heather. A tank is nothing compared to Daryl, and Heather must be watching us live right now, right? Probably. So we'll say hi to Heather. Yep, a tank is nothing compared to Daryl, and that just proved it.
I did like when he had the walker, Walker on a stick, using him as a shield. You know, he just ran right up and started killing people. That was pretty good, too.
Yeah, I'm still having a hard time with, he hid behind file cabinets with no drawers.
Right. And
that somehow stopped the 402 rounds from penetrating. Mm-hmm. Like you and I both know, no way.
No way.
No way, not happening. But you know what, we're going to roll with it because really we were dying for this level of action. There's been a lot of, good story development. A lot of people were upset about the governor and the development. You know what, we wouldn't have relished his death as much if we didn't have those backdrop stories. If we didn't see him have the potential to be good, you saw it tonight. Rick is obviously the changed one, right? Herschel saw it. Now Herschel, that's when you knew Herschel was going to die because he's watching Rick give that speech that he wanted. You know, we could work this out. Things can change. We can be better. He knows Rick is now kind of come around. What the worst part is just, you know, his whole, what is the fetish the governor has with heads? You know, he had all the jars of heads and now he's got to have Herschel's head.
And now he doesn't have the upper body strength to just chop his head off in one shot.
Well, you know what? I don't think the sword's been probably honed in a while.
Yeah. But I mean, it's funny because just before he kills him, before he kills Herschel, he calls Rick a liar, right? But he's been lying through this whole show. He obviously lied to the people in Woodbury, and he's been lying to the show. We had a little, and I wrote it down on Facebook. He had his little hope and change speech. So he was running for office in 2008. Who did you vote for? And he has this little hope and change speech. He lies to them to get the attack. He's lying to them right there outside the fence, you know, and then he's just, I guess, as we say, too far gone, you know. And I wrote it down on one of the comments that, you know, because somebody was talking about the third group that killed the group in the tents. I said, it'd be nice. What if that group now attacks the group? I thought they were leaving more people behind the river. He leaves the mother and the kid by the river because they can't cross the river. You know, the walkers aren't Moses. You know, and then, you know, so the girl gets killed. She walks the whole way, you know, and then he just blasts her. He just blasts the kid in the head. And then in the end, the mother blasts the governor.
Yeah, so, turnabout's fair play.
Good,
right?
yeah, turnabout fair play. Good riddance. He got, I think, what was coming to him, but it just seemed like they were building the character, but the character was all full of, like, lies and deceit and, you know.
But you know what, we knew...
And why does he mention Andrea? Not to hurt your feelings.
Well, that's all right.
Okay.
He mentions Andrea because that was the whole turning. I mean, he fell for Andrea, and then they used Andrea as kind of like a Trojan horse to kind of get to him, and it almost worked. You know, and then
he had a girl before Andrea. Had Andrea. Now he has the girl in the delivery truck.
But then, he's probably the most prolific guy during the apocalypse, actually, besides Glenn. But Glenn's only with Maggie, so.
Yeah.
He's trying
Glenn's
to
still sick. Glenn's still sick.
Glenn is still sick, but
Glenn's still sick.
better.
Cut him some slack.
Sasha's sick. Let's talk a little bit to Sasha and the Bob thing, because Bob obviously is trying to work through his demons, and that was a quick flash to a storyline. We got to see him in 2 points tonight that were actually kind of explain his character and who he is. One was his exchange with Sasha, where she said, "No, you will take this compliment. You will accept what I'm saying to you." And then the other one was he had that moment with Daryl, where Daryl says, "Are you ready?" And he goes, "Yes." So, and we were all kind of surprised how calm Daryl was over the whole Carol thing being missing. So we'll talk a little bit about that, but. Wow. So what we'll do is we'll go with the first part. What do you think about Bob's character development with tonight?
Can I change my favorite moment of the night?
He doesn't like this one.
I think Bob, he is realizing his demons, and I think that Sasha's definitely looking for a post-apocalyptic mate.
It's possible.
It's a natural thing. Granted, the pickings are a lot slimmer at this point, but I think that's more or less what's coming up.
Well, I think at this point everyone gets to see that there's a potential. Keith, what do you think about Bob and where he's at?
He's definitely not anywhere near close to where that group needs him to be. I mean, he's carrying around a box. What's in the box? What's in the box? You know, like you said, he's wants to get away from Sasha from just thanking him. You know, and then is Daryl, so he's still interacting. You know, and he's nowhere near cured or facing his demons. He's a problem. He's a big problem. They got to find a new medic fast.
All right. So, and just to kind of brag about our group a little bit on Facebook. And on Twitter and over on YouTube. We have a website that has links to it all, so you can kind of see those connections to everything. But one of our newer and very active guys, David Burke, threw up, this is definitely a fine board, just checked out something else with The Walking Dead in their comments. Nothing compared to you guys, keep it up, good stuff here. And then when I mentioned that we were filming our show right now, he says, oh, he's waiting, top-notch discussion and questions as always. We post the link in, of course we will. Thank you for that. This is absolutely a ton of fun. I mean, we have a great time. I know we're up here, we're laughing, and it looks like we're having a great time. Trust me, we're having as much as it looks like we're having fun, we're having an even better time when we're in the other room, taking our notes and getting ready for this show, and then sitting down here, because we don't actually talk to each other about what we're going to talk about, so we just kind of go with it. So tonight we actually didn't even do scripts. We just kind of said, we're ready for this one to kind of go. We've had a long run. Yeah, totally unravel. So let's go a little bit with the Rick and Daryl conversation, because that really did not get as bad as I thought. I really thought he was going to punch him out, and it seemed Daryl was more worried about Tyrese finding out for Rick's safety than anything. He kind of rolled with Carol not being there, which I mean, I was a little disappointed that Daryl's that jaded. I really thought he liked Carol a lot more, but well, guess not.
Well, they didn't
Maybe
really
he
get
likes
time.
Beth. I don't know.
He didn't get a chance to. It's like I think he kind of he was pissed and he's like, all right, let's settle the Tyrese thing. I could have handled the Tyrese thing. Let's go handle the Tyrese thing. Yeah. Go down and talk to Tyrese. Boom, bingo. We got problems.
We got to remember too. Daryl explicitly trusts Rick for whatever reason.
Yeah, and you know what? He said it at the fence line.
Yeah.
When he was over Carl's shoulder.
Yeah.
You know,
he did say your father's.
You got to trust him.
You got to trust your dad.
Yep.
You know, see what he has to say.
Well, and but that's what I don't get is because I know a lot of the fans, at least in our group, are really rooting for the Carol-Daryl connection, and seeing them tied together, and seeing that kind of happen. And even me personally, I thought that would have been a great relationship to have happen because, no relationship is safe, and sooner or later someone's going to die. So I thought that would be a great storyline. But his reaction was just kind of like, well, he was mad, but nowhere near as mad. Like, remember when Tyrese and Rick and Daryl were all together, and that was just like, it turned into an absolute fist fight. I was expecting, at least a shot to his face.
Yeah.
And another thing we learned is Daryl definitely has plot armor, as the term as our executive director likes to call. He's not going to die.
Now, I like the way that they had the walker sneak up on him, and it looked like it was almost going to bite him, and then it cut away.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And then when it came back,
And where did I mean? I understand that they blew up. They sent one shell crashing in, and then they had a little chat. But all of a sudden, the firefight starts, and all of a sudden, walkers show up.
Well, the walkers come to the noise.
Yeah, they come to the noise.
Because they even said we could just keep shooting, and then we're just going to draw
we're
them
just
in.
going to draw them in.
some of those walkers came from behind Daryl. How
From
is that
behind
possible?
Daryl.
Well, the fence line's down.
Well, the fence, yeah.
No, the
So
fence
they-
line's down from where the tank came in, which was in
But the
front
fence-
of Daryl.
Yeah, but they're...
It could have been down, and maybe it didn't get repaired from the last little melee that
Maybe
Rick
they came
and
through
Carl
Thermopylae Pass.
That's it.
Good for you.
That's for the regulars.
That's
That's for the regulars. But you know, it was one of those episodes where we kind of got a lot out of this one. They didn't leave us hanging too much. They definitely left us with the question about Judith, and I know some people are asking about that. Jay, what do you think? Is Judith dead, alive, walking, crawling, whatever?
Way
think
too soon
that,
for that.
No, it's not.
I don't think they'll kill her, but I don't think she's alive. But what I mean by that is, I don't think she's going to come back.
Yeah,
But
Lori picked her
they're
up.
not going to answer the question of whether she was killed or not.
How do you not?
I don't know. I think she just fades away. She hasn't been such a big part anyway. You know what I mean? She's been a small
She
part.
made Michonne smile. Big part. I reject your answer. All of a sudden, this is that Sprint commercial. You've gone rogue.
The executive producer is doing My Princess Bride lines.
Why? What did I miss?
I don't know. What did you just do?
I reject your reality and substitute my own.
Yeah, I reject my reality and substitute my own. He's doing lines for movies.
I do not think
Why
that means
didn't
what
he
you
fill
think
in
it
for me
means.
again last week? I'm just
Because
curious.
somebody's got to run the cameras for us.
Oh, yeah, damn it.
So,
What do you want, my Judith theory?
yeah, I'd like to hear your Judith theory. Is Judith alive or dead?
I think, regrettably, I think she's gone. I hope I'm wrong for the storyline, but I believe, and I could be wrong, that when the girls were there shooting, there was 4 girls that were running with the baby carrier, and then when Tyrese got saved, he turned around. I thought it was all 4 of them were there.
No.
No, it was just 2.
Nope, just
So
the
maybe
2.
the baby's on the baby.
See, that's why I think...
The only thing that I think maybe that Judith's alive, but I really do think she's gone, is maybe, and I did put it on Facebook, that when Tyrese said, "Where are the kids?" and Beth said, "Where are the kids?" They go to find the kids, hopefully find the baby. Perhaps there's a walker close to Judith. Somebody pops the walker. The carrier gets covered in blood, but there was no walker
There was
laying
no
around.
walker, no.
There wasn't a walker laying around, so I'm regrettably going to go with Judith's gone. I hope I'm wrong, though.
This is from Vinny. Judith will crawl past the walkers because they can't bend over. And, you know,
Well, they would try and fall.
but here's the thing. I think Judith is alive. I think what's going to happen is they're going to use Judith as a timetable now, so that when we come back in February, you're going to see her not that baby in the car seat anymore. She's going to be older. But at this point, we know the bus is out. It's
The bus is
loaded.
out.
How did they, that bus was bulletproof? Did you see the bullets bouncing off of that one? That was
Bouncing
like,
off the roof, yeah.
It's a prison bus.
what are they shooting? 22s?
It is a prison bus.
Like they're shooting 9mm.
But it was the roof. The bus is
Listen,
on its
prison
side.
buses are
It's
not
the roof.
bulletproof.
Yeah, why would a prison bus be bulletproof?
It's not.
They're just, it's
Not.
it's
But
just-
it's
the first thing that came to
whatever.
mind.
it's a gaff.
But I think
a
Judith
production gaff.
is definitely going to be alive. But I think what they're going to do is that they're definitely toying with you.
Why are they shooting at the bus? There's only one person behind the bus, Rick.
I think it was
No,
just
they
they were
forgot about
aiming
him.
that direction.
Yeah.
Yeah, they
forgot
totally forgot about Rick behind the other bus.
Yeah.
And that was awesome. But I think Judith will still be alive, but they're going to use that. And Heather also mentioned that they're going to use that as like a timetable thing, and I totally agree. It's we've made this joke before, like people say that Walking Dead is zombie soap opera. Well, in soap operas, somebody's born, and then 2 seasons later they're now 15 and graduating high school in that 2 episodes, and then an episode after that they're ready to take over their father's international consortium. So, I mean, they could easily progress us along with making Judith now like 2 or 3. Make her a talker or something. Because we know we need to find one of the Grime children. We can't just have there's another Grime child missing. That's what it comes down to. They cannot keep track of their kids. And we can't blame Laurie for this one.
No, you really can't. But they really, I mean, obviously, You got to wonder, because the governor first loses Penny,
Yep.
Then we flip the coin, and we get Megan. Sorry. It's like he left her behind. I understand what he was trying to do. He's trying to get the prison so he could protect his new family and his group, but he was lying to him. And then he left her alone, and she got bit by a walker. You have to wonder, how did Penny get hurt?
Well, I think
Did he
what
leave
happened,
her behind someplace?
There is a chance. I think, but I think if they gave us that background story, people would have been really losing their minds on social media.
I know. He said, when they said we can find another safe place. I think when he was going with Megan's mother, I can't remember. He was going back and forth. He said we don't need to do this. We can find another safe place. He said all the safe places are taken.
Right.
But in reality, you can make your own safe place. That's the point.
Mm-hmm.
And he says you'll be safe by the river. Not really.
All right, so we've got a couple answers from Facebook. I threw up, is Judas alive? Heather Stagg says, no clue. Sabrina, I don't think so, but I'm sure it's just a ploy by the writers. I completely agree. Sarah Lynn Crow, she hopes so. Jennifer, it cut off, I'm sorry. She thinks she is. Stacy, someone said that the seatbelt straps were unfastened, so maybe. Where did the other little kids go? Absolutely great point. They never showed up. That was a great moment, too, when Tyrese goes, no, we got to go this way.
And they go that way.
And then the girls go, no.
that way.
And you know what? All right, because we should wrap up in a minute, but there was so much to talk about this. Let me bring up the point that I'm still a believer Carol did not murder Karen and David.
And neither am I.
And because of that thing he found, all right, that was dissected. Now, Carol definitely screwed up a dissection of Lori with the delivery of Judith. But we run into this situation where liberal Lizzie, as you like to call her, said, no, Carol said we have to be strong. We have to do this. You know what? She was teasing the walker to get her to chase it. She went and got a gun. She killed the living person. You cannot tell me this is a possible option that we've had discussed, that these girls, or one of them, probably Lizzie, killed them, and Carol helped hide the murder.
Yeah. No, we were full in agreement on that one.
That explains Daryl saying that does not sound like her. Right? So where are you at now with...
I did not believe that it was Lizzie until I saw her thread the needle with Tara's girlfriend there. I mean, point blank right between the eyes. It was just a perfect shot.
Yeah.
And I don't know, now to see that cold, calculating look on her face, I could easily see her doing that. So my mind has changed. I think she did it.
And Sherry Sharkey says, yes, I think she is with one of the little girls. So there it is right there. We'll put that to rest. Keith, any other topics you want to bring up tonight before we wrap? Any other shout-outs we need to squeeze in? This has been a hell of a run for us this season so far.
I'm going to paraphrase real quick. This is a tweet from Furry for Rose. We were discussing earlier on Twitter who we thought would die tonight, and my picks were Herschel and the governor, and she was very upset that I was right. She said she was in tears, so I feel bad for you, Furry, but we know what's going to happen. Just a little shout out to her.
Keith, what do you got? Anything to wrap up with?
No. I guess I did write down that this is the second time the prison's been attacked, but it's the last time.
Yeah.
But it was the second time. This time they brought a tank. Last time they just brought a truckload of walkers. And I think he was trying to accomplish the same thing. I am glad that we are leaving the prison, but we were also glad when we were leaving the farm. I was kind of thinking the governor wouldn't get killed, but I'm definitely glad he's gone. And I'm glad and I'm happy who did it.
And due to the technology gaffes here, David did sneak in a comment about Judith, so we'll let him have his final say on that. He heard that she dies in the comics, but not sure. Chris, is that true? Does Judith die in the comics? We get a yes from the executive director, who is the behind-the-scenes know-it-all in all of this, which is why we put him in the control room.
We did forget to welcome, our guest.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Can we get a wide shot?
Wide out? Can we get a...
This is no longer Chester. This is now Vincent Hayward. Vincent Hayward is kind of a local celebrity. We've tried several times, lots of invites. He's been personally invited by Chris, our executive director, myself, and several other people in the community that are just fans of this show and would love to see him sitting here. He's bailed on us not once, but twice. He should have been here over there. He was going to fill in for Keith, and then he bailed on me. So then, thank God, we got another Vinny in. This is now the honorary Mr. Hayward. So this is no longer Chester. We're legally changing his name to Vincent Hayward. Sound good?
Don't bring me into this. My kids don't go to that school.
All right. So as we wrap up our episodes, we always do What Did I Learn Tonight? Keith, I'll throw it to you first. What did you learn tonight?
My opinion of liberal Lizzie has changed.
Very good. Jason?
I thought we'd have a lot of questions answered, and on Facebook tonight I said that whatever questions we have answered, we'll multiply that number by 3, and that's how many more questions they'll leave us with. Well, I still have a bunch of questions that I need answers to.
Is that German?
Okay, but how does that? What did you learn?
I learned that they.
What do you want to
I
learn?
learned that they do leave you with more questions. More questions than answers.
Took a bit, but he got there.
Yeah, he got there. He got there. What I learned tonight was that somehow Michonne running a guy through the chest somehow excites me and just makes me want to throw my hands up in the air and say, hey-o! So once again, thank you for joining us here on the Walking Dead support group. I have Keith O'Brien to my right, Jason McCarthy to my left. I don't know how I screwed that up. My name's Alex Mann. I want to say thanks to Chris Mann in the control room, BJ Foley in the control room, and the folks here at Holbrook Community Access and Media for letting us be here for this first half of the season. Our plan is to try and do some kind of mid-season recap for all of you guys and do kind of like a big group meeting. So there's a good chance if you can get into the Boston area, we might want to have you down as a panel discussion with us. But once again, thanks a lot, and walk on.
Walk on. We are out of here.